Welcome back to the Azure AD Architecture Deep Dive series. I am Majob Watin-Kwashe, and I'm a program manager on the Azure AD engineering team at Microsoft.
And my name is Adrian Paredes, and I'm also a program manager on the Azure AD engineering team at Microsoft. In this video, we will discuss the mechanics of how Azure AD works when you access a service connected to Azure AD, such as Office 365, or Line Business Application, or even a third-party SaaS app when you tie it to a conditional access policy. And instead of using Azure MFA, we will discuss how this works using device controls, such as Intune compliant device or a hybrid Azure AD join as a parameter. This is done to allow more control into which devices are allowed to connect to Office 365 or Azure AD-based services, and not just rely on MFA for achieving more of a zero-trust configuration.
We've had many customers ask how to do just that. Adrian, can you walk us through how this flows?
The first step occurs when the user is attempting to access an application. Let's say, for example, a user, Ross, is attempting to access his email using Outlook Mobile from his Android device and does not have a current active token. In this example, let's assume Ross passed the authentication phase and is now completing the authorization phase. The next steps are very similar to when using Azure MFA via conditional access. As you see here, Azure AD uses signals coming from the Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph that provides the level of risk of a sign-in and overall risk. Please note that customers with proper licenses can add these risk levels as part of the policies. Audra, what is the difference with device controls instead of Azure MFA?
Great question, Adrian. The difference between device controls and MFA is that the conditional access policy would require one or more of an Intune compliant device or hybrid Azure AD joint device. Since we have device controls, the authentication service needs to know what the device is. So let's back up a little bit. When Ross first enrolled his device using Intune, the device generated key material to authenticate itself, and the core store has a device object that represents Ross's phone. So what happens here is that the authentication service sends a challenge to authenticate the device. This challenge may be different based on the platform or client type. In this case, Ross is a good employee and he also has the Authenticator app. In that scenario, Outlook will interact with the Authenticator app to authenticate. We will cover how this works in a separate video. Now that Ross can satisfy the conditional access policy, he can get access to the service he requested, and now he is able to check his email on Outlook Mobile.
Thanks for that explanation, Audra. So I get this flow is using the device instead of multi-factor authentication. When should we use one or the other?
That's an important point and leads me to our key points to remember. First, the device controls allow you to validate that not only is the user who they say they are, but also that the device used by the user is approved by the organization and is in a healthy state. MFA does not give you that. Second, we recommend that customers use both the MFA and device as a part of the overall security posture. One very cool thing about conditional access policies is that you could combine controls and say, for example, I require MFA or compliant device or hybrid AD join. Consider that this also has user experience benefits, as users on compliant devices will not be prompted for MFA when using that type of policy.
One final important call out here is that the hybrid join case does not have a direct connection to the health of the device. The controls to guarantee that a domain joined device is healthy are on the customer. This is in contrast to the MDM with Intune and Endpoint Manager, where the compliance is measured on a regular basis. We hope you found this video useful. Please check out our other architecture videos located at aka.ms/identityyoutube. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.